because it's the silly, stupid, fascinating, weird, wonderful. They're my people, and more often than not, they're the geeky people as well.
But this real sense that what you do as you emerge out of Middle Earth in your real life is you hope, because Tolkien's so good at capturing that.
I mentioned Betamax. For anybody older, that's the old version of a video cassette. A video cassette is an old version of a DVD. A DVD is not set with the cloud.
And I said, I'm not happy. No, I've got bits wrong here. And she said, yeah, but that's all part of the learning process. That's all part of the. That makes it unique to you. That those kind of imperfections within it.
Good evening. Welcome to the Lego box of live stream and podcasts. We delve in, we have a good rummage around, and we find the normal 1x1s, 2x2s, and all the kind of malarkey, as well as the fascinating pieces like that one piece that only came with the Lego set from 1987. And we kind of have a look at it, we glimpse at it, and we share it with those if we trust them enough. No, maybe not. But welcome. This is another episode of Faith Geekery. My name is Mark, and this is
Becca.
Hey.
Sorry.
How you doing, Becca?
Podcast
You right?
listeners, I was looking the wrong way as always. I am very well, thank you.
And Jen
am
also
indeed.
says hello. Hello, Jen.
Hello, Jen. Oh,
And
do you
we
notice we lowered our voice then? Hello,
Oh.
Jen.
Well, okay. And hello, Jen.
Hello. Welcome.
Okay. As professional as ever. What geekiness have you been up to, Becca?
I think my primary geekiness at the moment, with the sun shining as it is gardening and getting my garden right. So I have been trawling the local garden centres and Pinterest boarding, and then actually, believe it or not, doing some gardening rather
Always
than just
helpful.
sitting, thinking and watching other people do gardening. So that has also included watching Gardener's World. Binge
Wow.
watching it,
So
and
going
just kind
beyond
of
the mood board, is that what you're
going
saying?
beyond the mood boards. Yeah, that is how deeply geeky I've actually been. I think that's always the glorious bit, when you've taken your particular interest and then you go and it takes you to another place. So yeah, that's where I've been. What have you been up to?
Tidying the house. That's taken up some of today. We had a bit of a house inspection, which is fine, and also been playing a bit of Minecraft with my son, as well as over the last few days doing some D&D prep, and that's character prep as well as some pondering and other kind of planning for DM stuff, including some bits that will be coming up in the future for Faith Geekery. So that's what I've been up to. Anybody else? Has anybody else been up to anything exciting for those tuning in? Feel free to put it in the comments.
Jen the Wren to comment on her geekiness.
And knitting is what Jen has said. Knitting with celebratory fanfare. Oh, rock and roll. I assume that is knitting is rock and roll.
Celebratory rock and roll knitting.
Yes.
She's actually been knitting those particular celebration horn things. I don't know what they're called. The ones with
Trumpets,
the confetti
bugles?
emojis.
Don't know.
Bugle? Confetti bugles.
Just to clarify, Jenny has put knitting is rock and
Knitting
roll.
is rock and roll.
So
sister, you preach it.
What is rock and roll in this knitting is rock and roll world?
Oh, that's a logical conundrum, isn't it? If all knitting is rock and roll, is all rock and roll knitting?
Puts a bit of a twist on meatloaf, doesn't it? Anyway,
imagine a real life knitted meatloaf. I bet it's been done. I'm now holding myself back from going to Google it. Ecosia it in order to plant trees.
Indeed. So, if we aren't going to have any other comments, shall we roll into geeky news?
Yeah, let us hear the geeky news.
This is the Faith Geekery news, broadcast to your home and around the world.
So tonight I've not done that much revision for Geeky News, I'm afraid. The first thing is that over the weekend, well, on Thursday, Thunderbolts landed at the theatre, and then basically over the weekend they got kind of some people coming in, good, reasonable ticket sales, and then they announced, because there was an asterisk on the Thunderbolts, that lo and behold, it's been retitled The New Avengers, because that's the shock and awe moment of Thunderbolts, that it is actually New Avengers. Surprise! And so that's that. Next thing is, we mentioned Pope Francis's kind of parting last week. I felt a little bit guilty for kind of talking about the AI more than what he, from all his contributions to the world and to Catholicism and faith. We talked more about the AI, Paddington and Diana kind of mashup. And I thought I would just return back to it, because I didn't realise that his final wish was to turn his Pope-mobile into a mobile clinic for the children of Gaza. And I just thought that was really quite profound. And just,
Do you think they'll actually do that?
Oh yeah, I think I've seen them kind of re-equipping it and
doing it.
otherwise. So I just thought that was excellent. And I will just say that we, again, rolling over the news from last week regarding Faith and Geekery, that we have created our Facebook page. We are currently kind of live streaming from Cybersten still and that sort of stuff, but we are getting there. We have now reached 100 people. I did try to share the stream on there earlier on today, and it's not letting us. So I wonder if it needs to be existing for a couple of more weeks before we get that far. But I just thought I'd mention it again, and that is the geeky news. Is there anything to comment on these three geeky news things?
I love that they did that with the Avengers. That's just fun. Even though it is now a spoiler, but inevitably that was going to be a spoiler that everyone knew. But I like that little bit of cheeky kind of clever brand. I don't know how clever it is, but that branding of they've ripped away the bit of the poster to reveal actually they were the New Avengers, really.
Yeah, it's I think it's received a bit of mixed a mixed bag, really, because I think some people are going, well, I'm used to my friends spoiling it. I'm not used to Marvel Studios actually spoiling it before we've even gone.
Or Spider-Man.
So it seems a bit it just seems a little bit strange that they've dropped it after 3 days to kind of go, ta-da! And they're going, would you not have wanted to leave it a little bit longer rather than just 3 days? Or is it a way of getting people to get along to the cinema and to go, but it was funny. I've forgotten the chappie's name who plays Bucky Barnes, but there was a video of him just walking along with a shaved head, with a whole kind of arm full of new posters, and he walks up to the Thunderbolts one and just kind of rolls it out, really kind of stern, and just, doesn't say anything, just unrolls it, ravels it. There's gaffer tape already neatly there. Stick, and then walks on. And I was like, that's pretty cool. They're playing it down a little bit, but I wonder how much of all this kind of stuff they need to rebrand, because they've now just kind of announced it 3 days in.
I assume that was always part of the, and I think I like that playfulness. It's almost like the breaking the fourth wall, is that they're not just being really serious about, here is our branding, it's to inform you that it is on this date and this is what it's about. It's that I don't know, it's just playful, and I approve.
And that's it. It's fresh, isn't it? It is different, and they have got money to do this. So let's be honest.
And we're talking about it.
We are talking about it, indeed. So it seems to have done its thing, and I'm thinking of going. So it's also done it. And I love the Pope-mobile kind of last wish. I thought that was really sweet. That was really sweet as well. And again, more.
That's exciting. You'll be pleased to know an update to Geeky News. I have now liked our Faith and Geekery Facebook page. That's disturbing, isn't it? Well done, me.
Well done, you. Should we mention at this point the various other things that we're in conversations about with Faith and Geekery?
Yes.
In regards to, we are looking at, first of all, there are two elements of this. One is the outward kind of invitations from people and things. So in a few weeks, at the end of May, we're going to be at Cliff Festival. Is it Cliff Fest? Cliff Festival. Cliff Festival. Definitely Cliff Festival. So we're going to be
Do we
there
call it
doing
that as ex-students, or is its
That's what,
its real
yeah.
name, Cliff Festival?
I can't remember now.
I never know.
Cliff Fest. Anyway,
I like Cliff Fest anyway.
Cliff Fest. So we're going to be there at the end of the of May, and so that's going to be fun. We're also having conversations about being at Greenbelt, and so that's early days, but it feels as if it's a pretty much of a certainty now. We're definitely going to be leading a session. If folks are going to it, it would be lovely to catch up at some point, but I think we'll be at the Hope and Anchor at some point, and hopefully be even on the programme, which will be very swish. And also we are still talking about Comic-Con, but we're just kind of trying to work out when and where and how and what, but that's more a case of kind of just spreading.
And more importantly, what are we going to wear?
Yes, I have been thinking about that too.
Start building now, Mark.
I have started planning now, and I've got a new bed for my 3D printer for something. So yes, so I think that is. So that's those elements. But we are also working on in the background a couple of other strands of Faith in Geekery. One of which we're going to return back to D&D, and so that was a bit of our preparation and planning for having a bit of a stream of D&D in one direction, and the other one is about kind of worship in a different sort of way, in a Faith in Geeky sort of way. That's going to be in the pipeline too. So I think both of these things hopefully will be emerging as of September. That'll be quite a nice time we'll have built up enough steam and resources and reminded one another that we've needed to do these things, and then eventually done them. So by September, hopefully we'll have things ready and all our ducks lined up, or at least them in the same pen. So that is really exciting, and that is the end of Geeky News.
And speaking of building up steam, I think that's a beautiful segue to bring in our very, very lovely guest this week.
I'm going to click him in, yeah?
Da, 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 da.
Hello, Joseph/Joe.
Hi.
Hi, and welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
You are so welcome.
Hello, my name's Joseph. I'm known on social media as Station Master Joe. I'm a lifelong Thomas the Tank Engine fan. I'm mainly a fan of the Railway series and the original TV show Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. I am also a steam locomotive enthusiast, though I do like heritage diesel locomotives as well. A model railway enthusiast and a Beatles fan.
Amazing. And a Disney fan as well. We had a fab conversation about Disney, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
We did.
When we did that, we did. I'm mainly a fan of the animated Disney films, the ones made at Walt Disney Animation Studios, like The Lion King, Aladdin, Tangled, Hercules, Fantasia, The Little Mermaid, Sleeping Beauty, Jungle Book, Robin Hood.
Fabulous.
Mulan, Frozen, and Frozen 2.
Lovely geeky friends, you are in for a treat because Joseph is an absolute delight of a human being. His passion for particularly trains today is infectious. So before that, we are going to have our weekly geeky quiz. Mark, are you going to lead us into that?
Okay.
I got questions. The quiz.
Theme tune and
just
everything.
Bear with me, and here we go. Just going to bring up a pre-recorded Tim, and let's press play. Have we got our pens and paper ready?
Have you got pen and paper, Joe?
Yep.
Okay.
I've also got to say at this point,
and a pen.
Tim did give us instructions to have question 3 up on the screen, and so I don't exactly know what that means because I tried to copy and paste it without reading it and looking at it either, because I'm I don't want to cheat.
You're a fair
so
person, yeah.
so I don't know exactly what's coming to know why it needs to be up on the screen, because there didn't seem to be any pictures, so it just seemed to be text. So I'm wondering why.
Okay.
So without further ado, let us hand over to Tim.
Hello! Welcome to the Faith Geekery quiz for this, the 6th of May 2025. I'm Tim. I'm your quiz master. If Mark's already probably told you what's going to be happening in this quiz, but if you're new, here's the basic sum of it. You're going to have 5 questions, 5 answers. We're going to read the questions through twice, having a few seconds of pause, where either I'm going to do a lovely pause face, or I'm going to be paused on a lovely face. After we've gone through all 5 questions, we're going to go through the 5 answers. Points are rewarded at the end. Whoever wins is best. You can write them down, put them in the comments, or you can keep them in your head. But remember, honesty is the best policy. You know how well you did in this quiz. So, without further ado, let's get on with the quiz. Question number 1. Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remaster was shadow dropped a few weeks ago. I've been personally enjoying playing it.
He mentioned it.
It features the voice acting talent of which Yorkshire actor? A. Sean Bean. B. Patrick Stewart. C. Peter O'Toole. Or D. Malcolm McDowell. Which Yorkshire actor is featured in the Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remaster and the original as well?
Sean Bean's not.
Sean Bean, Patrick Stewart,
Yes.
Peter O'Toole, or Malcolm McDowell?
Yes. South Yorkshire, albeit.
Sorry, Yorkshire Bean.
Can we just
Oh, we've got a whole pipe from.
Yeah. For those podcast listeners, Tim was blowing a little pipe with a little ball that kind of floats up in the air.
Question number 2. What actor connects the following movies? Fighting with My Family, Little Women, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, and Thunderbolt **. What actor connects the following movies? Fighting with My Family, Little Women, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, and Thunderbolt **.
Or New Avengers, as it's now known.
The New Avengers. Come on, Tim, keep up.
I think usually I would be really panicked at this point, but I feel already that I am. I feel as if I may have 2 for 2. So can we stop there?
Yes.
I'm going to keep on going. Jen's put boom because I think I know.
Question number 3. On this day, in 1889, which world-famous European tourist attraction opened to the public? A. Cologne Cathedral. B. The Eiffel Tower. C. Neuschwanstein Castle. Or D. Lascaux. That question again. On this day in 1889, which world-famous European tourist attraction opened to the public?
What accent was that?
Cologne Cathedral.
I don't know.
B. The Eiffel Tower. C. Neuschwanstein Castle. Or D. Lascaux.
Right, I'm going to put these up on the screen because I think this is maybe why he's a little bit concerned about the pronunciation of these. Can I add these up?
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it says on this day, so it's Cologne Cathedral, Eiffel Tower. Yeah, the C is Neuschwanstein.
Neuschwanstein.
And then Lascaux, is it? Lascaux. So that's what that is on the screen, but for podcast listeners, doesn't help anybody.
No. You've just had it pronounced slightly differently by all of us. Yes, you're welcome.
And over to Tim again.
These questions will, of course, or at least the answers of this question, will be sent to Mark to post in the chat, so you can see how badly I butchered the pronunciation.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Question number 4. The Met Gala was hosted this past weekend with lots of lovely clothing. How much reportedly would a single ticket to this gala set you back? $55,000, $65,000, $75,000, or $85,000? Reportedly, how much would a single ticket to the Met Gala set you back? It's $55,000, $65,000, $75,000, or $85,000.
Don't know anything.
I always want to guess the middle one, but I'm not going to do that on this occasion.
And
I'm
finally,
just throwing
question number
letters
5.
at my numbers now.
How many episodes of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends were based on the original writings of the Reverend W. Awdry and his son Chris Awdry? 99, 101,
Oh.
103, 105, or 107? How
Oh,
many
that's so
episodes
close to
of
not
Yeah.
be
Thomas
able
the
to
Tank Engine
guess
and Friends
it. That's just mean.
show were based on the original writings of the Reverend W. Awdry and his son Chris Awdry? 99, 101, 103, 105, or 107?
Do you think we get a 5-way either way?
You are right within 5 foot, Benny.
Just everyone go for 103, it'll be right. That's really harsh because I was expecting like a 55, 100 and whatever, 150, and that is like splitting hairs, surely. But
So
Joseph, go on.
yeah, was it? So it was either 55 or 100 and.
That would have been convenient, wouldn't it, Joe?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of. Let's see. 25 of the episodes from the first series were based on original writing by the Reverend Awdry. All 26 would have been based off original writing by both authors of the second series.
46. Doing maths now.
I'm just thinking.
Well, we're going to find the answer out, aren't we? But yes, I think that is a very interesting question to ask. But I think that was very much asked for your benefit there, Joseph. So I hope you are successful. I hope I am too. Let's see, shall we?
Mine's all guesses, apart from the second one.
Oh, it's hard to know whether I'm pressing play or if it's just...
Well, it's time to get those answers, don't you think? Rather.
Yeah.
Question number 1. Which Yorkshire actor was a voice acting talent
Sean Bean.
in Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remaster? Now, there's 2 answers here.
Oh, cheeky.
Question: it's either Sean Bean or Patrick Stewart. If you answered both, I'm going to be generous. You get a bonus point. Fun fact: Malcolm McDowell, while he did not feature in the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, he did feature in the game that Bethesda released after Elder Scrolls
I have
Oblivion,
no idea who he
which
is.
was Fallout number 3.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. Question number 2. What actor connects the movies Fighting With My Family, Little Women,
Florence
Puss in Boots, The
Pugh.
Last Wish, and
I thought it was
Thunderbolt?
Florence Pugh.
Asterisk. Well, I can feel Jenny is fizzing from a distance.
She
You know that the
She was
answer
booming,
is
wasn't she?
Florence Pugh.
She was booming.
Yay.
Of course,
She
Thunderbolts with
boomed.
an asterisk has a new title now. I'm not sure if that's been leaked in Geeky News, but
Yes.
no spoilers here, friends.
Pretty much the only thing that has been leaked.
Question number 3.
An actual
On this day in
spoiler.
1889, which world-famous European tourist attraction opened to the public that is none other than the Eiffel Tower?
Yes.
Part of a lovely World's Fair.
Oh my gosh.
And I apologise to the countries for the other 2 locations that I butchered the pronunciation of.
It's okay. We
Question
judge
number 4. How much reportedly would a single ticket to the Met Gala
Jenny's
set you
booming
back?
and fizzing.
Surprisingly, $75,000.
Oh.
And that's not including your food, your clothing, your transport, and your
you. What
hotel.
letter was that?
That's a lot of money.
I think C, possibly.
Question
No,
number
I
5.
did not
How
get
many
that right.
episodes of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends
Oh, no, yes, I
were
did.
based on the original writings of the Reverend W. Awdry and his son, Chris Awdry? Now, when you remove all the written for the telly plays and the written for the show, especially, all the stuff that's based on original writings totaled 101 episodes.
Oh.
That's
Joe,
101
how did we
episodes.
do?
So, I see that we have 5 questions and 6 points possibly up for grabs. Let us know in the comments or let us know publicly how much you got. And that's been the Faith Geekery quiz. I've been Tim. Back to the studio. See ya. Bye.
Right, I'm just going to take a screen grab of that.
Oh my goodness. Jenny the Wren got 5 out of 5. I don't actually know what I got because I write down the letter and don't know how that corresponds with the actual answer.
I got 4 out of 5.
Very
Well done.
impressive.
The only
Which
one I
one?
got wrong was the 4th. Was
The
the
Met
dog
Gala
one.
one. Was the
Yeah,
what one?
I thought it would be around 101 or something because
Okay.
I did think around 101. That's why I put it down.
Amazing.
I
Amazing.
got 3 out of 5, but that is the highest I've ever got from one of Tim's quiz. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with just over half. So that's good.
I might have got 3 or 4. I just don't know. I definitely got 3.
That's good. That's good.
I just don't know what the B and the C stood for on the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually knew it would be like 101 because most of them, because 25 of the out of the 26 episodes from the first series of Thomas the Tank Engine were based off original writing by Wilbert Awdry, and the writing from the all 26 episodes from the second series based off stories by Reverend Awdry and Christopher Awdry. Several of the episodes from the third series based on stories by Reverend Awdry, and 25 of the 26 episodes from the fourth series based on writing by Wilbert Awdry and Christopher Awdry. So yeah, I guessed 101.
Fantastic.
So who are those 2 authors, Joe?
Reverend Awdry and Christopher Awdry were the
Who is Christopher Awdry?
The son, isn't it?
the son of the Reverend Awdry.
Aha, okay, thank you. So Joe,
Yes.
you're going to tell us about trains. You are. Mark, did you have a question before Joe?
No, I was just going to say, does this segue into it?
This segues nicely into.
Do we want to talk about Thomas the Tank Engine? Thomas the Tank Engine,
Ooh.
then into trains in general, or do you want to start off with trains in general and drop in the occasional tank engineism?
I'll
sure if that's a word.
I'll start with I'll obviously start with Thomas the Tank Engine because Thomas the Tank Engine was what led me to an interest in trains. So yeah, I was a massive Thomas the Tank Engine fan as a child, and I still am today. As a matter of fact, I had the original Railway Series books by Reverend Wilbert Awdry read to me by my parents and grandparents and other people who would read the stories to me when I was a child. I watched the early model series of the original TV show, Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. It was both Ringo Starr's narration for the TV show and Michael Angelis's narration for the TV show I was brought up on. I watched the early model series on VHS, CITV, Nick Jr. and DVD. I collected die-cast metal models of Thomas and his friends by Ertl, the company that made those die-cast models. I collected wooden models of Thomas and his friends and battery-powered toys of the engines. The battery-powered toys were made by Tomy Motor Road and Rail, and then later by Trackmaster, and the wooden models were made by Brio and Learning Curve. I attended, as well as all that, I attended Day Out with Thomas events at several heritage railways across the UK, including the Midhants Railway, aka the Watercress Line in Hampshire, and the East Lancashire Railway in Greater Manchester, and the Emsey and Bolton Abbey Steam Railway in Yorkshire.
Can I ask, is it Drayton Manor that has the Thomas Tank Engine land or something?
Drayton Manor has Thomas Land,
Yes.
which and that's which I went to earlier this year in February. The one main reason I chose to go there because they have a Gauge 1 layout, which consists of original models, props, and sets used in the TV show.
Wow.
And
Joe, can you explain to me what Gauge 1 means?
Gauge 1, it's kind of like this width. It's bigger than 00.
Is that 4 inches, 5 inches for podcast listeners? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
How many inches is that?
It's definitely
Joseph?
bigger than. It's definitely wide. It's definitely bigger than 00 gauge. I can tell you that, and probably slightly bigger than O gauge.
Cool.
Yeah, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So yeah. I was a massive Thomas the Tank Engine fan as a child. I had the original books read to me. I watched the early model series of the TV show, collected die-cast metal models and wooden models and battery-powered toys. I still have a massive collection of all those at home, by the way.
Good.
Okay.
There's no way I'm parting from them ever.
We like a collector.
And I attended Day Out with Thomas events at Heritage Railways, such as the Midhants Railway, aka the Watercress Line.
So when did all that move into not just Thomas, but into interest into you being station master, Joe? When did all of that kind of transition?
I'll come to that eventually. My obsession with Thomas the Tank Engine has had a huge impact on me in the following ways. My obsession with Thomas the Tank Engine led me to an interest in steam locomotives.
Yeah.
2, it also led me to an interest in model railways. My first model train set being a Hornby Thomas and Percy electric train set, which I got for Christmas in the year 2000 when I was 7 years old. 3, because of me being brought up on Ringo Starr's narration for the TV show of Thomas the Tank Engine, as well as Michael Angelis's narration, and then finding out later on that Ringo was previously a member of a band called the Beatles before he went on to narrate the first 2 series of Thomas the Tank Engine, and deciding to find out more after finding that out, I went on to be a Beatles fan. And 4, because of the different character voices Michael Angelis did when providing his narration for Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, he was one of the 2 people that inspired me to do different voices. The other one of the 2 being American actor and comedian Robin Williams, because of the different voices he did when he voiced the genie in the 1992 animated Disney film Aladdin, which is one of my favorite Disney movies and one of my all-time favorite movies in general. 5, and David Mitton, the man who directed the first 7 series of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, was one of the people that inspired me to make videos using model trains. And 6, the Great Waterton set used in the 2008 Thomas the Tank Engine film, The Great Discovery, which is one of my favorite Thomas the Tank Engine movies and another one of my all-time favorite movies in general, inspired my portable model railway layout of Great Waterton, which I built in 2016 with help from someone who's had experience with building model railways in the past, and I've had it at every annual train fun day since 2016.
Fantastic.
Love it.
So, no, you go ahead.
All I was going to say is that for me, I'm not really into trains, but for me, Thomas Tank Engine has a special place in my heart too. And just those kind of tones of Ringo Starr kind of going, Thomas the Tank Engine rolled into the station. And, it's just, and the Fat Controller or Mr. Top Hat and Tails, even I can't remember. They've changed it and then changed it back again, didn't they?
Well, Sir Topham Hatt
Oh, that's it.
is the Fat Controller's real name. The Fat Controller being his nickname.
Yeah.
He is known by both his real name, Sir Topham Hatt, and his nickname, the Fat Controller, in both the original Railway Series books and the UK dub of the original TV show.
Yeah.
In the US dub, however, he's known by just his real name, Sir Topham Hatt.
Yes.
And that's due to different word society norms in America.
Yeah. You have been a naughty engine.
You are a very naughty engine.
Yeah. Very good. Sorry, carry on. Should we move away to? Should we segue into kind of the trains and how did you kind of get into? Did you start train spotting, or was it the usual path?
During the time I had the Railway Series books read to me, it was through the books I learnt of the Talclyn Railway in Wales, and learnt of the Bluebell Railway in East and West Sussex. You see, one of the Bluebell Railway's engines, Stepney, visits the island of Sodor, as we learned from the Railway Series book Stepney the Bluebell Engine, and from the fourth series of the TV show Thomas the Tank Engine, friends. And so long story short, I found myself discovering certain heritage railways through the Railway Series books. The Talclyn Railway, which, as I then discovered, was the inspiration for the Scar-Lowy Railway. The Ravenglass and Estill Railway in Cumbria, which was the line inspiration for the Arsdale Railway. The Snowdon Mountain Railway, which was the inspiration for the Coldey Fell Mountain Railway. And the Bluebell Railway, the railway on which Stepney, the Bluebell engine, works and lives. And it was through the books I discovered Flying Scotsman, because in the Railway Series book Enterprising Engines, Flying Scotsman visits the island of Sodor to see his only surviving brother, Gordon, the big engine.
The connection there.
Yeah. I was once going down the M1 in a car and drove past the Flying Scotsman, also going down the M1 on the back of a lorry, which was very exciting.
Oh, wow.
Would it have not gone by track? Surely that would be a logical thing.
It wasn't. It was on the back of a lorry, on the back of a long, whatever they're called. I'm not going to even pretend to know what they're called.
Loader
Yes. Something. But yeah.
I'll say for me, we kind of went to the National Railway Museum. I assume you've been, Joseph?
As a matter of fact, I've been there loads of times.
I was going to say, I thought you would have done. What's your favourite train there?
Firstly, it's a locomotive. A locomotive is just the locomotive on its own, whereas a train is made up of a locomotive and either coaches or wagons, depending on what sort of train the locomotive pulls.
Hang on, say that again. A train is what?
It's made up of a locomotive. A locomotive is part of a train.
Yeah.
And also involves coaches or wagons, depending on what sort of train the locomotive pulls.
Okay. So Thomas is a locomotive, not a train.
Yeah, Thomas is a locomotive, and the train he's usually part of is a passenger train, which is made up of him and his two coaches, Annie and Clarabelle.
Clarabelle, that's it.
There you go. I've learned something today. Marvelous.
So, which is your favourite locomotive then at the Railway Museum?
My favourite locomotive at the National Railway Museum is London North Eastern Railway, Gresley A4 Pacific, number 4468 Mallard. The fastest steam locomotive in the world.
Fantastic.
Why? What's made it the fastest? What is different about it to other locomotives?
Well, Mallard on the 3rd of July 1938 broke the world speed record of 126 miles an hour. 126. It's a its streamlining design helped it to go a lot quicker. Yeah, the Gresley A4 Pacifics were streamlined, and the way they were designed allowed them to push through air to glide straight, allowing them to go quicker. And yeah, Mallard still holds the world's speed record for steam traction.
Well, that's impressive.
Mallard's still the fastest steam locomotive to this very day.
And do you have a favourite train line? Do you have a favourite route that you like to go on?
Oh, well, I really like the route. Well, I really like the route that takes me into York Station. I
Very good.
and
You approve.
yeah, although the West Highland line, which I went on the year before the pandemic and rode on the Jacobite steam train along.
Oh yeah,
that was absolutely stunning.
That's lovely.
So I'm trying to find photos now because I think I've got some.
I'm distracted. I'm sure I was reading somewhere that I don't think it's shell shock. It's something that was first diagnosed because of human beings suddenly being able to go so fast because of the trains. And I don't know if it's shell shock or it's something that I wish I could remember. This is a rubbish moment of fact sharing because I can't actually remember the story to tell you. It's not good, Becca. Come on. I'll have to Google it later. But it was because of the trains that we had a universal time. I do know that in the UK that we didn't have a shared time until we suddenly could get so quickly from one place to another and the time not be right based on the time it had taken. My storytelling today is going haywire.
We get it though. We get it.
Yeah, that might have been a geeky quiz at some point. A geeky question in one of the quizzes, I think.
Yeah. So I think my favourite train route. Well, I actually have quite a few. The route along the West Highland Line, the route along the East Coast Main Line going through into York Station. Yeah, that's I can just name those two, really.
What is it about them what is it that you like about them? What makes them particularly special?
I just
do you see?
Well, the thing I love about going to York is because York is where the National Railway Museum is, and the West Highland Line has absolutely stunning scenery and include there's quite a lot of favorite routes I really like, train routes I really like. I'm not sure I could pick a favorite, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, I can't.
It'd be like picking your favorite child.
Maybe it's
although obviously you're your parents' favorite child.
I'm not so sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's quite a lot of train routes that I really like. I just thought I'd name two.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Anyway, now as I mentioned, I built I had a portable model railway layout built.
Yeah.
And that's just one of the two layouts I have. because I also have this layout here.
Oh wow! So
Oh.
Joseph has just moved his camera, and it is fantastic. So he's showing us a gosh, is that at least like 2 meters by 3 meters or something like that?
It's 6 foot by 4 foot.
Yeah. Wow, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's glorious.
This was the gentleman who helped me build my portable model railway layout in 2016. He also helped me to build this layout, and we built this layout between October 2014 and May 2015.
Sorry, I'm just trying to bring it up so we can see it better.
Make it bigger.
No,
that's you.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
And
there we go.
So, yeah,
what's your favourite bit about it, Joe?
Favourite bit of what? Sorry?
What's your favourite bit? What do you like most about it?
About this layout?
Yeah.
About this layout? I'm not sure I can tell you that at the moment, to be honest. I'm not sure I can answer that.
Okay, that's absolutely okay.
But I can tell you about this layout. This is my Vickerstown to Knapford Junction layout. Vickerstown is on the eastern side of the island of Sodor, and is the last stop on Sodor before trains cross over the bridge to the mainland. Over to the British mainland. And Knapford Junction is on the western side of Sodor and is where Thomas's branch line meets the main line.
Nice.
Now, there are several stations between Knapford and Vickerstown along the main line on the island of Sodor, but my layout's not big enough to fit them all on.
Well, that's understandable. And can I just ask as well, are you referencing, is that a map of Sodor on the wall?
It is, yes.
Fantastic.
This is a framed map of the island of Sodor. This map was designed by Peter Edwards, who was illustrator for the Railway series at the time. This map was designed in 1971, and it's the Reverend Audrey's railway map of the island of Sodor, showing where Thomas the Tank Engine and his friends live and work.
Wow, fantastic. Wow, well, thank you for showing us around your track. Am I allowed to call it that? I don't want to get the wrong terminology now, but thank you. And Becca, have you got a question to ask him?
Yes, Joe, I was going to ask you, because we had a chat a few weeks ago, and you had enthused me about your trains, and you have so much heart and soul when you talk about it that I was really interested, especially because we are both Faith and Geekery, what you thought God thought about trains. Can you remember your answer?
Yes. I think, well, in my mind, God would say it's the best invention humankind has come up with, and
why do you think that, Joe?
Well, trains help connect people who are like miles apart from each other together, and God, and as God's people, we are called into community.
And to be connected.
Yeah.
I think there's something really beautiful about that even in the kind of the cold, hard metal of a locomotive and its subsequent carriages and the tracks that are down on the road, that it can all look very functional and industrial. But then when you see the kind of the longing of human beings to create connection, almost in imitation, there is something absolutely gorgeous about that belief that is also the longing of God's heart.
There is also something quite nice about those places of the station, isn't there? Or whether that's kind of the romanticism of kind of turning up to the train station. You know, a Richard Curtis film often has like a train station moment in it. We have those moments
How
of
I
where
Met Your Mother spent so long on the train station. Yeah.
Well, it does, yeah. Do you know what I mean? There is a real kind of togetherness, or there's that kind of moment of departure or moment of gathering, and whether it's or even fantasy, when you've got Harry Potter getting on the Hogwarts Express, and there's real kind of moments, kind of milestone moments of either leaving a place and
transitioning.
Transitioning, that's a good word. And so I think there is a romanticism about it, but then also you've got the steam trains as well, the steam locomotives, where actually there is something just of that industrial age, and that kind of these trains are often kind of described as creatures, as they're kind of churning through the countryside and the smoke billowing out from it. I mean, we don't talk about the what's the word?
Pollution.
Pollution. But do you know what I mean? They do look magnificent, kind of blustering and powering through. And I've got to say, I've got a number of church members and a number of home church members and family members who are all involved with trains in one way or another, because there is this real practical thing as well about not just kind of being on a train, but actually fixing, mending, and physically kind of looking after trains. So I've got as many friends and family who actually volunteer on the kind of various railways at I forgot now. Anyway, it begins with P, in the northeast, but
Pennine Way.
I've forgotten completely and utterly.
I think that's a road.
And so I'll find it out by the end of it. And Pickering, that's it. And then I've also got people who are working, fixing and mending and looking after, because it's very physical. And anyway, sorry, Joseph, go on.
Sorry, I know it's gone 10 to 9, but now when you said a favourite train route, were you meaning on like Network Rail or?
It's completely up to you, Joe. Do you have one in mind?
Yeah, because favourite train route. Well, if we're talking heritage railways, well, my favourite narrow gauge heritage railway is the Talaclyn Railway, and because of the Thomas connection of the Thomas the Tank Engine connection, the fact that it was the railway that inspired the Skarloey Railway, and the out of the standard gauge heritage railways, the Midhants Railway is probably my favourite because of the fond memories I have attending Day Out with Thomas events there.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah, sorry if I said a bit later than I should have.
No,
that's absolutely
there is no right or wrong. It's
there
lovely.
really isn't. But I'm really glad that it kind of really engages you and excites, and so thank you for sharing about that. And I think there is just something kind of about that, a lean into history, lean into that kind of very physical, tangible. I also just saw it, maybe should have mentioned it in Geeky News, is that a lot of the car manufacturers are going away from touchscreen stuff to physical buttons again, because they've realized there is something about that kind of physicality of pressing buttons.
We almost need that, don't we?
But I think I've known that ever since I was little, of like seeing kind of on planes and the flick, or on the DeLorean, the real kind of flicky switches. You want the little toggle switches. Toggle switches are the must. And my son has found some of my old electrics and has got them on the side in the kitchen. He's kind of like, I hope you don't mind, Dad, I've pinched your switches. And I don't know if he's actually got anything planned with him. I think he just loves the fact they're kind of the physical, and that they're kind of flicking on, flicking off. So I can definitely see that, and that just trains. It's just that on steroids, on a big kind of scheme. And the fact that you can kind of get it down into your room, to have your own scaled down version of it, and just tweak, and being be creator of a world, of a landscape, you know.
Joe, I think you've converted Mark to loving
No.
trains.
I think I've always liked trains. I've never
I
had a
think you've
train.
just been evangelized.
No. But I will say, Joseph, that I have got an electric Thomas the Tank Engine. I don't know whereabouts it is in my house, but it's just a really tiny little locomotive one, and it used to go on an electric train set. I don't know if there's an official term for that, but yeah, I've got that somewhere around in the house, because whilst I parted with everything else, I couldn't part with my little Thomas the Tank Engine, because it does remind me of those old days. So shall we move on to Geeky Gallery? Is that all right? Is that time? But thank you,
Joe,
Joseph.
thank you so much. It's been an absolute delight to have you.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm sorry if I couldn't actually answer every question.
You don't have to be sorry whatsoever.
There's no right or wrong. You've done incredibly well.
I should have, when I asked about favorite train routes, I should have asked what sort of train route you were meaning, but
no, it really was up to you. It really was up to you.
Really lovely.
We're going to come on to the Geeky Gallery, and this is basically just catching up mainly from our Discord community, and so we'll just take a moment to reference that, folks. If you would like to join our Discord community, it's just download an app, and it allows us to have kind of various conversations about various things. It's a bit like a chat room, but for people that are part of this community. We'll put the link in the
chat afterwards.
It should be in the blurb as part of the episode, as well as podcast. So we have something from Phil, just talking about his rediscovery of miniatures paintings, and these are little fantastic ones. I mean, this is far better than what I can do. I'm glad that he's rediscovering it, because they're ace. Specky Geek has got some of his Warhammer. I keep wanting to say this. There's going to be some specific term for it, I'm sure. Mendip Nomad has just talked about some ghosting or ghostly duo. I think kind of going to create them as like apparitions, maybe, because there's a lot of greeny kind of, I don't know, aquamarine colours sort of things going on. So it looks fantastic. And some from Becca. You've got like a card. Is that an American football?
No, it's a rugby ball.
A rugby ball, sorry.
But,
in a graduation.
Yes. A colleague's son was graduating from an American university on a rugby scholarship, and I was commissioned to do a graduation card.
Fantastic.
So that is a rugby ball.
A rugby ball in a graduation kind of gown, cap and gown, scroll,
and it wobbles. So if you're on Discord and you see the video, you can get it to do a little wibble wobble.
I was going to say, and in our Geeky Gallery on the Discord, you will actually find other videos as well, and links to YouTube bits and pieces, which I've just never able to kind of drop into here. Becca, you've also got some combining your geekiness with production of a board game, which is this kind of part of work and all we can.
Yes, it was an all we can activity. I have made 40 packs. It's not a sole project. Lots of people have contributed to it, but I have been compiling, and each pack has, I can't even remember how many cards. So it was an accomplished feat, and I've now finished. So
fantastic. Yes. Well done. We've got Rev. I'm sure he would appreciate some geekiness and his bike. So he was on a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And so this is just outside of Bedford-upon-Trent. So there's some bikes gathered outside, and it looks like a cafe with motorbikes inside as well, and helmets around like I want to say an oversized dartboard, but I'm sure that's not the case. But it's some sort of like, it looks like on the wall, like a round table, but with bike helmets symbolizing. At least is there 12 of those there? Yeah. So that looks awesome. And then there's Note Just, who's been making his small miniature, like a shelf railway. I don't exactly know what gauge that is, Joseph, I'm afraid. But we
that's double O.
Oh, we did. Note Just did mention it last week, and so that's just a continuation, and that is a little picture of my character that I am making, and this is me what I'm drawing as well, but I need to work on shading, so it's not finished yet, but that is my character for a D&D campaign. And that is the end of the Geeky Gallery. Ka-chow. And that is a ka-choo-choo.
Choo-choo!
And that is the end of that. And I think that's coming us to the end of the episode too, Becca. Over to you.
It was. Well, I don't think I can say it any better, but that noticing where our heart is drawn towards, where we feel that, that yearning to be interested and connected with something, to allow that to channel what we do, how we think, and just kind of be open to what else your heart might be longing for. If that is a fascination with trains, and noticing that also leads to connection with other human beings, then maybe that's a good thing. And just kind of trusting your heart and where your leanings are as a way to connect with something much greater and bigger than you. I think that is great for our head, heart, and souls. And I think Joe says it much better. So God thinks railways were the best things ever invented because God is all about connection.
Thank you, Becca. And thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.